What's going on, you guys? Welcome back. We are out here at the property right now. It is a beautiful day. Today we are having something done that I'm very excited to announce. I signed a contract with a well driller. I'm gonna give you guys the price breakdown on what it's gonna cost to drill, but today he's coming over. We're witching the property, which is some crazy ancient technique of figuring out where water's at, and we're going to talk about where the well placement is going. Along with that, we have to do some preparation for site plans, so we need to sit and measure out where things are at in relation to my building pad up here, along with my septic system. Hey there, quick question for you. So we just dug observation pit, everything looks great. I'm going to send you video here shortly. I think we're going to perk just fine. While we're waiting on him, I'm hoping the well goes up there. Building pad's back over there. Let's walk around the front of the property. That way you guys, if you did watch the video of me buying this place, you get a feel for what it is. We haven't really talked about doing a whole lot over here, to be honest with you. We have a lot of these big granite formations. But for the most part, this property, this side isn't all that usable. So the plan here is to eventually have another little house in here. Beautiful view. I would love that. My property line though is over here. Stake represents the edge of my property line. And if you look down the side of their house, you can see another stake way out here in the back. That's where my property line runs. It is really close. I doubt this place was ever surveyed, but now that it is, we can see that they are very close. Some of their utilities are on our side. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. It was
right.
Darren, right?
Darren.
Matt, nice to meet you, man.
If you want, we can try to, if you give me an idea where you want to go, I can search.
Yeah, that would be incredible. This area is way too treed, but on the back side of it, I don't know if it would be possible. Hoping that I can clean up some of this right here and that something goes here.
Just a big rig, so I got to be able to get it in. But you imagine a concrete truck?
Oh yeah.
A rig is pretty much like that.
Okay.
Pretty big, pretty long. And then I got to, in case we need extra rods, I have 400 feet on the truck, but we talked about probably being, you're up off the river, so you might be okay here, but we don't want to get into that salt. Down and go deep, and you can get it, and then the whole well's kind of shot.
But what is the issue with the water down there? It's
salty.
Salty?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've been to El Cid's, a Mexican.
I haven't, but you told me about it.
Margaritas, he said, the owner is funny because we've done some work for him. He's the one I sealed off. And he goes, but it's kind of the key to my margaritas. That salt makes like
really
good, but you can taste it. If you drink their water,
yeah.
Tap water, you're like, oh. I'm gonna be walking the whole property because we're kind of. Got it. Yep. But I don't know which way it's coming from. I kind of just got to work these directions. Ish, kind of, we'll see. I don't know which way it's going. I got to kind of figure that out. It might not be where we want it, but shoot, we might be able to make that work. Huh? Pinpoint it after you clear it a little better, obviously, but
same spot.
Seem kind of close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty close. Yeah. Somewhere along this line. I say somewhere in this area.
Yeah.
Because I can back the rig in here.
But if I'm able to brush this out and get you a clear path in here, we'd be okay?
Yeah, so I'll just make this the permit spot.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I was hoping I could get temp out here somewhat soon, but I don't know what that looks like. So you're saying with your permit for this?
With the well permit, we'll probably have that before you get a building permit.
Oh, definitely,
right? So
yeah.
At least you'll have that and then try that.
Okay. So it's actually cheaper to drill out here because it's not cased.
Yeah, because it's
the whole way.
Cased, and then also the casing is expensive because I got to drill a 12-inch hole, case it, and then seal it. In the valley, I drilled a 12-inch hole, like if it's 600 foot, it's 12-inch, 600 feet. Or once I get the casing set, I go back inside of it with the bit. So once I'm landing on hard rock, I go back inside with a 6-inch bit. So it's from dirt level to hard rock.
That makes sense.
I'll go down with a test hole. See, it can be deceiving. You get hit, like think it's hard, and then you break out into some soft. You got to open up to that soft spot. But
it's not cased all the way down. You're saying it's just rock.
Yeah. I don't. My brother has a pretty good well though at his shop right there.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I wanted to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're right here. They know this area. They have to.
Yeah. I mean, there's another driller in Oakhurst, right in town. We're all close to the same price.
Yeah. In the construction industry, I love people that are willing to share information, especially to somebody that might not know as much. I have never had a well drilled, so I really don't know what this whole process looks like. So for Darren to be able to sit down and explain things to me and talk to me in a way that I understand it now, I was super thankful. So to recap what just went down, as he was dowsing, he walked through here and hit here. Came back up and hit here, which implies that it's going this way. It could have gone that way. It could have gone this way. It went right up this way. It was a little further off of where we wanted it to be, but it'll all work out. We walked our way up through this section over here, and I'll show you where the wellhead's gonna be and everything else. So in line with where the driveway is, we walked this way and he slowly went back and forth, zigzagging through here. We ended up settling on the final location for the wellhead being right here. Now the coolest part about this, there's a few things. Wellhead will be right here. We'll come down, likely nix this tree right here, flatten this out, put my pump house and put my storage, and then it'll go up to the house. But my favorite part about this is if I decide to build a second residence right down here in that basin, I can take and feed from this wellhead down and over to another holding tank at the bottom, and that can feed that house. The thing about this well though is we're gonna be lucky if we get 2 to maybe 10 gallons per minute, right? Which isn't a whole lot. We're gonna be relying solely on having a bunch of storage and pushing that water into the house the same way that we would do down here. So now what I have to do now is measure out for my site plan. So I've got this 200-foot tape measure here. I need to figure out where their well is at, and we're gonna pull a number from that well. We're gonna pull a number over to this pin right here that I've got. Now the reason for that is so that we can keep track of where we are installing a septic system. This needs to be noted on the site plan. So we're gonna pull from here. All the way over. Oh, the thing's just pouring out. 70 feet. My property line is here. So I'm gonna pull back. This is gonna give me a number off of here, and I'll connect that number over to there. We are 45 feet from their well house to my property line. So back when I bought this place, I paid $1,800 to have a topographical survey done and a boundary survey. It's the elevation of everything. So as the property slopes down to the back, as it comes up to a hill at the top, everything there is noted. It's got elevation markers on every little line. A boundary survey is the front pins, the back pins, and then mid pins because the length is pretty far. I was hoping that they would put my neighbor's well and septic on here, but it doesn't look like any of that was marked. We are out here with our trusty 200-foot. We just mapped this one out. I want to go to the back. There's another well down there. I don't know if it's just a holding tank, but my concern is that, you know, if we put a septic system back there, I'm now encroaching on the distance from the septic to their well. So on the back side of the property here, this was another one that I was concerned with, and luckily it's just a holding tank. There's a lot of stuff that walks over here. There's a whole path right here. I think the deer come through here. There's no wellhead though. And this is the tip top of their property. This is the back side of their property, so it wouldn't be down that way, potentially down here. Based off what I'm seeing, I'm calling that 20 feet from property line to center there. There's no well, so that's good news. If there was a well right here, I couldn't put my septic at the back. I'm gonna share some clips with you guys of what I was doing out here about a week ago. I have one hole here, 2, 3, and 4. These are a foot deep with gravel at the bottom of them. And then I have what we call an observation pit over there. So we're gonna cut back to that. You guys will get to take a look at what we did. But in short, this is what we call a percolation test to see just how good the ground out here perks, which means absorbs moisture into the ground around it. To give you a better example and to where you understand it really quick, if you have a lot of sand, it's gonna perk very quick. It'd be like pouring a water bottle on a beach, right? It just absorbs into the ground. Whereas if you poured it on top of clay, it's gonna puddle up. So a soils test helps us determine what we're dealing with back here prior to construction so we can design the septic system accordingly. So that's what Andrew, our engineer at Element Engineering, is taking care of. It's making sure that this back section perks. I gave him a bunch of data. I did multiple different tests out here and got to show him, here's every single 10-minute increment of where the water was at. So he knows just how much this back section perks and can build accordingly. Kind of cool. Never done that either. So with this perk test, we have to do a couple things. We know where the septic system is going to go, which is actually quite a mission from where we planned on it being originally. We need to be per code 100 feet away from any other wells in the area. And you could probably guess why. I mean, would you really want your well bringing up water if the ground around it is percolating all of the feces and waste from the neighbor's house? I personally wouldn't. Down here at the back side of the property, it's my kid's racetrack, which is kind of a bummer, but we're planning on putting it back here. In doing so, we have to go through the trees, clear out all this, dig a line, run it all the way through, and that's where we are planning on running it to the backside there. Any of you that have operated machinery, you know that feeling when you feel like you're gonna tip because you don't necessarily trust the machinery. That's where she's at right now. I think we're gonna perk just fine. What was that song? Was it Beyonce?
Who sang that song, Christy? What?
Family Affair. And what they're gonna be looking for, the engineer here, is the soil itself. And they're gonna verify whether or not this will perk. I think our soils here are great though. We don't have clay. Everything soaks up pretty good. And that right there is what they're looking for. They want to see inside of the side there, the profile. What's that?
5 feet.
5 feet deep. You can see down here we're hitting some sort of different soil, and that's the purpose of this whole thing. See the soil change down there? My mother is terrified of grasshoppers. You're gonna take it to her? Soils are such an interesting thing because it plays such a huge role in the building process as a whole. In terms of our footing depth, what our buildings are built like, all changes with the soil type. We've built some houses where we have to go down 5-6 feet deep, and it's not because of a frost line, it's just because of the soils that we're working in. So it's cool to see what we've got here. The worst case scenario for today was that we ended up hitting some sort of rock, whether that be granite, some crazy sandstone, but so far we haven't hit much of anything. We're about 4 feet. So that's really what they're wanting to see is the side profile there. See how it's different colors?
Yeah.
The soils are changing. So as you go deeper, you're running into different stuff. If we were to run into, say, clay, like we would out on the coast, this wouldn't perk at all, and you couldn't put in a system, it wouldn't work. So Maddie was just asking me if we dig the hole right here, where exactly do we have to put the remaining holes for the perk test? All right, go play with your grasshopper, kiddo. I love that. No phone, just enjoying nature. Where we're going to be putting the remaining holes that we are going to dig out with the post hole digger that'll be in line with where the septic system would run. So let's say we run down the hill, pipe all the way to here, all of our lines coming off here. That right there is the strip that we need to be on. So what I'm going to do now is get the post hole digger. I'll dig one here, one here, one here, and one out here.
What's going on, Matt?
Hey there, quick question for you. So we just dug observation pit. Everything looks great. I'm gonna send you video here shortly. How deep do these little perk hole tests need to be?
An inch is an inch if it's 2 feet or if it's a foot.
Yeah.
So you're just measuring percolation into the surrounding soil.
And then as far as the observation hole goes, you just want video and photo of this?
Yep, a video and a photo. I just gotta know, I gotta basically classify the soil type, and soils typically occur in layers.
Okay.
So if you can find it, there's a chance it's a very uniform soil profile, and it's all just, it might be loam or whatever it is up there.
Yeah.
But if you can kind of identify any layers and the depths of those layers, let's say we don't dig deep enough for your septic system, and we set it right on top of a layer. When you guys take showers and you run the sink and toilets, it won't drain, which is a failed septic system, and that's a bummer.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good, bud.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. In line with everything else. When I bought out here, I had so many builder friends hit me up going, Matt, you're gonna run into a mess. So many rocks out there in Central California. I was like, I know, I get it. Trust me, I do. I had spoke with a friend of mine who's an engineer, and he told me, Matt, there's a good chance you end up pinning a lot of this stuff. I didn't think we'd be able to get a tractor in here to dig anything at all. When we go to dig up top to do our foundation, if we ended up with some crazy amount of rocks, it would be a headache. I'm talking extensive engineering, pinning into granite formations, trying to get what we need as far as structural goes. We're 14 inches here as well. I'm gonna dig one last one over here, do 4 of them just because, but we're looking good. So we've got one hole dug there. We have another hole dug there. Another one here. And another one here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. All in line with our observation pit here. Pretty cool stuff. Okay. I'm one-handed here, so bear with me. I love this. Oh, so do you remember when we first bought this place, this is the area that we walked through?
Yes.
We walked all the way through here, up onto the other side. You were going for it. You did good. How cool is that? That one's filled up.
Let's get it percolating.
I'm gonna make a small mark right where it was. That way we can keep track of it. This one were great. This one was a little bit slower, but still on average. We're just gonna mark right there. That one was sloppy. So now what I'm going to do is come back and periodically check on this. In about 10 minutes, see how we're percolating. We'll come back after that, we'll check it again, and we'll continue that cycle until we have a good bit of data. I did this yesterday afternoon, and I was able to come to the conclusion that that hole and the last hole were around 15 minutes to 18 minutes per inch, and this hole and this hole were closer to 10 minutes per inch, meaning these soak into the ground really quick, and these ones take a little bit longer, but still it's on average. Not gonna be a bad place to build. How beautiful. 1.5 inches on this one. So we'll note that. 2.25. This one struggled last time. This one's down 1.75 inches. I haven't gotten to spend many mornings out here at the property, but this up here is incredible. I can't wait to build out here. Quick little tip for you guys, in the case you are buying bare land, you're buying a property that you don't really know a whole lot about, having the soils checked prior to purchasing would be a great idea. I bought here knowing that all of my neighbors have septic systems and that if their soils could handle it, mine could as well. Let's say you're buying out near a beach, really sandy soil. Putting in a septic system isn't all that easy out there because of the fact that it perks really, really quick. You ever poured a glass of water on a beach? If you don't know what happens, it goes into the ground pretty quick. A septic system is not going to operate all that well in very sandy conditions. Oftentimes this leads to an engineered system that somebody's going to have to design for you in order for it to work. You need to slow down that process so that it has time to break down before entering back into the ground around it. Now, if we go on the flip side, clay, something that a lot of people deal with on their property, is going to do the exact opposite. So instead of perking too quick, it perks too slow. This can lead to pooling water. This can lead to a complete mess out on your property. All of these things can be figured out by doing a simple perk test back here. Not all that big of a deal. And say you wanted to buy a piece of property and do a perk test before closing. They'll let you do it. It's a way to ensure that the property that you are about to buy is usable for what you're after. But I highly suggest before you buy any sort of bare land, especially if there's no housing around it, go ahead and check soils. That way you know what you're up against. So now we're about 2.5 inches here, 3.75 here, and 5.5. If you guys would like to see the data that we collected, in the description down below, I'll have a full breakdown of the time schedule that we did and everything else. Our engineering's moving forward. We're wrapping up the last things that we need to for submittal, and we are game on, good to go. Couldn't be happier. But I hope today's video was somewhat helpful or maybe just enjoyable to watch. It's cool to do the beginning steps of all this. I've built a ton in the city. Every house that I've ever built has been city utilities. So being out here, it's a little different. I have this atrocious power line that runs through my property, so my overhead tie is not gonna be difficult. My water is being set up with a well. My septic's being taken care of out back. Outside of that, I plan to have a big gas tank, and that's what's going to feed propane to pretty much anything that I need it for inside. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you understand a little bit more about what's going on here. I've been on the phone with the engineer a couple different times asking, hey, am I doing this right? What's going on here? Because at the end of the day, I know concrete, I know framing, siding, my roofing, my windows, my doors, a lot of the stuff inside, but man, I'm not gonna lie to you. When it comes to all this pre-construction stuff that I've had to learn, it has not been all that great. And we'll talk about all that and more as time goes on and as we get permits and so on and so forth. The best way is always through. That's what you gotta remember. But keep learning, keep building, and I'll see you guys then.